Hello, this is our project over the circulatory system, and this is done by Kara, Ella, Grace, Meredith, and Grace. Okay, so the first part of our presentation is the blood. There's three parts of the blood. The first is red blood cells. These are also known as erythrocytes. The red blood cells transport three things: hemoglobin, oxygen, and carbon dioxide. Next is the white blood cells, also known as leukocytes. The main function of the white blood cells is to fight off infections. There are 5 types of white blood cells, and they are listed above. Last is platelets. These can form clots to stop a cut or scrape from bleeding. The blood clot is made up of platelets and proteins such as fibrin. The pictures below are examples of what each part would look like. The red blood cell is red, the white blood cells are multiple but usually white in color, and the platelets are sticky and white.
The next thing we'll be talking about are arteries and veins. Arteries are strong elastic vessels designed to withhold high pressure of blood leaving the heart. The arteries carry the blood toward the heart. The veins are also strong elastic vessels that run nearly parallel to arteries. They have valves to prevent backflow, and the veins carry the blood away from the heart. There are 3 layers of the artery and veins. The innermost layer is the endothelium of tunica intima, and then there's a thin layer of connective tissue, and then the second layer is the tunica media, and the final and most outer layer is the tunica adventia. The vein also has a valve added into the innermost to keep the blood from backflowing. Next, we'll talk about the path the blood takes through the body. The blood starts in the body and enters the heart through the superior and inferior vena cava via veins. Once in the heart, the blood enters the right atrium and is pumped through the tricuspid valve and into the right ventricle. The blood is not oxygenated because it has just traveled through the body. So, in order for it to become oxygenated, the heart pumps it through the pulmonary valve and into the right or left pulmonary arteries to be carried to the lungs for oxygenation. Once the blood is oxygenated and rid of waste products like CO2, it moves to the left atrium through the pulmonary veins. From there, it moves through the mitral valve and into the left ventricle. Now that the blood is oxygenated, it is ready to be pumped into the body. The left ventricle pumps the blood into the aortic valve for it to be transported throughout the body via the aortic artery.
Here is a picture that explains the process as well. Next, we will talk about the heart. The heart runs in a pulmonary circuit. Oxygenated blood travels from the heart to the body, so it goes lungs, heart, body. And for deoxygenated blood, it travels from the heart to the lungs, so it's reverse: body, heart, lungs. The heart is also a muscle known as the cardiac muscle. The cardiac muscle is involuntary and it is strained. The myocardium is the muscle part of the heart, and the SA node is the heartbeat that sends electrical signs to the heart through the body. And there's also a picture of the pulmonary circuit, and there's also a picture of the cardiac muscle on this slide. Now we will talk about heart diseases. There are 2 main heart diseases or effects that happen when you have a serious heart disease. These are a stroke and a heart attack. Now, to have these, you must have a clot. This is where platelets get stuck and create blockage. A stroke is where blood supply is cut off from the brain, so there's no oxygen running to the brain and the brain shuts down. A heart attack is a similar thing, but the blood can't get to the heart, so the heart shuts down and oxygen cannot get to the heart. To repair these, you will need medical assistance to open vessels. An example of this is a bypass. Other diseases to mention are a heart murmur. This is an extra sound in the heartbeat, and arrhythmia, which is irregular heartbeat. Next, we will discuss electrical heart stimulation. So, the heart is a natural electrical cycle. There are 4 chambers of the heart, and there's a process that the heart goes through to send beats. This is where it starts in the right atrium, it's depolarized in the SA node, and then goes to the Bachman's bundle. This is in the left atrium, into the AV node in the bundle of His. But during this time, there is a split-second delay to keep the beat steady. After it goes through the bundle of his, it is split into the left bundle and the left posterior, and then that is split into one side, and then last is to the right bundle and the right ventricle. This all works to squeeze blood. And sometimes the heart cannot function on its own. This is where you would put a pacemaker in, and this sends electrical currents to pump the heart so it controls a steady heartbeat.
The last thing we will talk about is one of the heart tests they do to check about your heart. One heart test is to check your blood pressure. They use a sphygmomanometer, and you will get a portion to determine the pressure. Systolic contracts and over diastolic relaxed pressure. Example, 110/80. It also helps detect normal heartbeat and the electrical cycle.
Thank you for watching and listening, and I hope you learned a little bit more about the heart today.